Hey guys, today we're looking at business studies, business strategies, which is a paper one topic, and we are focusing on industrial analysis tools. So we're going to be looking at SWOT analysis, the Potter's 5, as well as PESTLE analysis. I'm the general and this is the masterclass. Okay, guys, let's get right into it. The first thing we have to look at is the exam guideline. What does the examiner expect us to know as far as industrial analysis tools are concerned? Number one, compile a SWOT analysis of a particular business from a given scenario. Name and identify Potter's 5 forces model from given statements or scenarios. Explain or advise businesses on how they could apply Potter's 5 forces model to analyze their position in the market. Name and apply PESTLE analysis factors from given scenarios or statements, and also explain how PESTLE factors pose challenges to business. Lastly, recommend ways in which businesses can deal with the challenges that are posed by the PESTLE factors. So this is exactly what we are attempting to do with this video. We are going to answer all these questions through this video. So what is industrial analysis anyway? Industrial analysis is the process by which businesses try to find problems within the business environments that affect them. So we are talking about the micro environment, the market environment, as well as the macro environment. The business has to use certain tools to scan those environments and find out what are the problems, and then they can now come up with strategies to respond to those problems. So let's start with the micro environment. What is the tool for scanning the micro environment? SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, as you may know, guys, refers to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are we saying here? We are saying the business has certain things that play to its advantage, which are within its internal environment. For example, if the business has got skilled employees, highly skilled employees, and they are producing good quality products, that is something that is housed within the internal environment of the business, and it gives the business an advantage and is positive. So it's a strength. If there is something negative in the internal environment that is inherent, for example, we can use the same example and say if they've got untrained employees or unskilled employees, then that means that that is a weakness for that particular business within their internal environment. We may also have some factors that affect the business, but from an outside perspective. Let's look at our opportunities and threats. Opportunities are not necessarily coming from the business. They are coming from what is happening outside the business, but they can present an opportunity for the business to take advantage of inside the business. For example, if other businesses around us are struggling and they are going out of business, now that presents an advantage to the business, even though it's not coming from us. It's not originating from our qualities as a business. So we will say that is not a strength, that is an opportunity. The same applies with a weakness. If maybe there is competition out there, there are more businesses that are coming into the space that we are operating in. That is not about us because it is coming from outside, but it's going to become a threat to us because of competition. So we will not say that one is a weakness, we will say that is a threat. So remember, strength and opportunity, the difference is a strength is an internal factor, while an opportunity is an external factor which has not yet happened. It's a potential. Then weakness is an internal factor that is already happening, that is negative, while a threat is a potential thing that can affect the business from outside. Let's now move to the market environment. What does the business use to scan the market environment? The Potter's 5 forces model. Number 1, power of suppliers. Number 2, power of buyers. Number 3, threat of substitutes. Number 4, barriers to entry. Number 5, competitive rivalry. Now, to make this thing easier for you, I've come up with a way where you can easily remember them. This is going to be 3 P's and 2 T's. The 3 P's are going to be powers and the 2 T's are going to be threats. So the 3 P's is going to be power of buyers, power of suppliers, and power of competitors. Your threats are going to be threat of substitute products and threat of competition. So let's start with power of suppliers. Under power of suppliers, we are trying to assess the power of suppliers to influence prices. The more powerful the suppliers, the less control the business will have. What are we saying here? In an exam situation, you may be given a scenario and you have to identify the particular force that is at play, or most likely you will be asked to describe the application of the Potter's Five. You are describing how the power of suppliers will affect the business. Like in this case, we can say that when there are a few suppliers in the market, then those suppliers are going to have more control over the business because the business has nowhere else to go. There are only a few suppliers that are providing high quality products. So they exercise some sort of control over the business. Number two, power of buyers. Buyers buying in bulk can bargain for prices in their favor. Now, if there are buyers that are powerful, that can buy in bulk, these buyers are able to negotiate and drive prices down. So what are we saying here? We are saying the power of buyers will be high in that instance. Such buyers are going to exercise some sort of control over the business. Then let's look at the third one. Power of competitors. Refers to the number of competitors and their ability to control the market. Competitors with a unique product or service will have greater power. So under this point, we have to look at our competitors and see how many competitors do we have. The more competitors we have, the less power we actually have, because it means our customers have more options. If they don't buy from us, they can easily buy elsewhere. But if we only have one competitor or we have no competition at all, then the power of competitors is very low, and that presents an advantage to the business.
Hi guys, sorry to disturb your video. I'm just here to discuss with you 3 ways in which you can support the channel. Number 1 is to watch the ads. So guys, the ads that come before the video, during the video, and after the video are linked to this particular video that you are watching. If you don't skip the ads and you actually watch, we're going to be rewarded by the advertisers. Then number 2 is to invite me as a guest speaker to your event at your school, a school function, prize giving day, revision classes, and so on. I'll gladly come. Number 3, we've got the Masterclass Level Up program, which is designed for all those who want to write their exams in May and June of 2025. We are covering 3 subjects: accounting, business studies, and economics. All the information you need is in the description box below. Now let's get back to the video.
Let's look at the 2 threats. Threat of substitutes. Substitute products are different products that can replace one another. So here we are trying to understand the market to see, are there any other alternatives out there that people can use instead of our product? If there are so many substitutes out there, then the threat of substitute products is very high, because people can easily leave our product and go and satisfy their need using a different product that is similar to ours. But if there are not a lot of substitute products, we are making a unique product, then the threat of substitute products is significantly reduced. We are able to keep our customers because they do not have so many options available to them. Then we move on to the threat of new entrants. What are new entrants? New entrants are businesses selling similar products in existing markets for the first time. If the barriers to enter the market is low, it is easy for new businesses to enter the market. So if our industry doesn't require too much for people to join it, then we are under threat, because there will be new entrants, new businesses that will be coming into the market every now and again. And you know, it's human nature to be fascinated by something new. So whenever a new business comes, there's going to be hype around it, and people are going to patronize that business at our expense. Let us now move on to the macro environment. What tool do businesses use to scan the macro environment? That is PESTLE analysis. Now, what is PESTLE analysis? It's an acronym that stands for political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, legal factors, and environmental factors. Let's start with political. Some government policies may affect businesses. Trade agreements may prevent businesses from importing some products. So here we are saying there are some problems that a business faces that emanates from the political sphere. Depending on which government or which party is in government at the time, there may be certain trade agreements or trade embargoes that are imposed on the country. And as a business that is importing or exporting, we will be affected by these agreements that are made by our government with other governments. Then there's also the issue of policies. Each political party, when they come in with their own policies, and these will definitely affect the business. And this is outside of the business. So it's in the macro environment. Number two, economic factors. Inflation or interest rates may negatively impact on the business, and fluctuations in foreign currency may restrict imports. Now, these are issues emanating from the economic environment. We have no control over interest rates. The Reserve Bank will decide what are the interest rates, and inflation will be responding to that as a result. It's also not within our own control. Currency fluctuations, the exchange rate between the rand and the dollar and other currencies, we have no control over that. That comes through from the economic environment. We simply will have to adjust. Social factors. Customers may not be able to afford products due to low income. Businesses may not be conversant with the local language of their customers. So there are also social challenges that a business will face from time to time. If you are operating in a country or in an area where you are not conversant with the language of the people, you cannot connect with the people. So the customer service is not going to be the same. So you will lag behind businesses that can connect with people in that way. On that as well, customers may not be able to afford our products because maybe they are low income levels, there is high unemployment in the particular area that we are operating in. So there is not too much demand for our products, not because of our own making, but just because of how the social fabric is in that particular area. We move on to technological factors. May not keep up with the latest technology. Now, every business is under pressure to keep up with the latest technology. Imagine going to a particular shop and they tell you that they do not have a card machine. They only accept cash. Now, that is an outdated practice, and this is going to annoy you as a customer, and you are likely not to come back. So that business will suffer not because it is not able to produce good products, but because it is failing to keep up with technology. Let's go to legislation or legal factors. Consider certain acts that may have a direct impact on a business, e.g. the CPA and the BCEA. Then there are legal requirements for operating certain types of businesses, and this can be time consuming. You guys know we have done a video already. We've done 3 videos actually, which were dealing with legislation. If you have not watched them, I will pin them for you in the description box so you can go and watch. What are we saying? We are saying these 8 acts that we look at in grade 12, they affect businesses. Businesses have to fork out money sometimes. Businesses have to give certain benefits to employees, which may be strenuous on their own budget, but they have no option because this is the law of the country. Environmental factors. Measures to dispose of business waste may be expensive. So every business is supposed to be environmentally friendly. They are supposed to adopt green strategies which are environmentally friendly. So in terms of disposing waste, we have to do certain things that will cost us money to dispose the waste responsibly. So a business now, because they want to be environmentally responsible, they face this challenge of having to fork out money for that purpose. So guys, in an exam situation, you may be asked to identify the particular PESTLE factor from a scenario, and you quote the challenge. So the challenges that we discussed, you may find them in the different scenarios. Then as a follow-up question, you may be asked to give recommendations. So we're going to discuss each challenge versus its own recommendation. Starting with political factors. Some government policies may affect businesses. How do we deal with that? The recommendation is research recent government policies. Then we also said trade agreements may prevent businesses from importing some products. Then what is the recommendation for that? Trade only with countries that have favorable trade agreements with the government. So what are we saying here, guys? For every challenge that you have identified, you must be able to give a matching or a corresponding recommendation, because these questions will come one after the other. So as you are practicing, you need to do it together as a table. Let's go to economic factors. Inflation or interest rates may negatively impact on business. The recommendation for that is consider decreasing profit margins rather than increasing product prices. Fluctuations in foreign currency may restrict import. What is the recommendation for that? Consider exchange rates when trading with other countries. So here we are basically saying, see how best you can respond to these challenges. When it comes to the foreign currency, look for periods where the currency is favorable for you, and then you make your deals at that time. And when it comes to inflation, don't just respond as a knee-jerk reaction to whatever is happening in the market. You can also consider reducing your profit margin a little bit to keep prices down, even though your costs have increased. Because as a result, the quantity that people will buy from you may increase, and you may still be able to make the same amount of profit. Let's go to social factors. We said customers may not be able to afford products due to low income levels. So how do we deal with that? Sell substitute products at lower prices. Businesses may not be conversant with the local language of their customers. Then the solution is hire employees who are well conversant with the local language. I'll give you an example. If you go to Pick and Pay, you are going to find a brand called No Name Brand. If you go to ShopRite, you are going to find Right Brand, and so on. Now, these products have been specifically designed by those particular businesses in order to meet the needs of the lower end of the customers. Those who cannot afford the mainstream products, they make those products for them. They are always the cheapest in every aisle. That's how they are responding to the social challenge of low income levels. At the same time, you guys have also seen when you go into a shop owned by Chinese people, for example, that don't speak your language, they will always employ someone who speaks the local language. That is how they respond to that challenge. Let's go to technological factors. We said the challenge is the business may not keep up with the latest technology. What is the recommendation? Continuous research on the latest available technology in the market. Like I said earlier, businesses that don't keep up with technology are going to fall behind and become obsolete. People will not patronize those businesses. So every business, as a response to this, has to find ways of catching up. They have to do research. They have to always find out what's going on and be up to date with technological changes. We move on to legal changes. Consider certain acts that may have a direct impact on a business. How do we deal with that? Comply with all relevant legislation that may impact on businesses. Legal requirements for operating certain types of businesses may be time consuming. What is the recommendation? Comply with the legal requirements for operating businesses, e.g., a trading license, trademark registration, and so on. When we did those videos on legislation, there was a specific part that was dealing with compliance. How can a business comply? We were looking at each business must comply with the acts that are given. That is how they can respond to the legal challenges. Then environmental factors. We said the challenge was measures to dispose of business waste may be expensive. What is the recommendation? Implement cost-effective measures to dispose of medical waste. Use packaging that is recyclable. So you find cheaper ways of how to do this. Instead of creating a lot of waste material for you, you can use recyclable products. You can simply pass them on to recycling companies, and you will even get some money in the process. So this is how we deal with the PESTLE challenges. Thank you so much for watching the video today. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers by 1 May 2025. Thank you so much. See you next time. God bless you.